Okay, how's everybody doing? Long time no see. Um, as you see, my previous experiment with the shoe rack to hold my paints, it kind of collapsed. So I bit the bullet and I got a regular paint rack, and it still doesn't give me a lot of workspace to work with. But this is a heck of a sight more organized, and yeah, it'll work. But still got most of my inks over here, and then I've got the premium army painter stuff, and then I got the El Cheapos I normally work with over there, and then I've got that little figure that one of these days I'm going to finish. It won't be this day, but it'll be one day. But yeah, I got these Vallejo washes I picked up from Hobby Lobby. I mean, not Hobby Lobby, Hobby Town. And I prefer this stuff. This is my favorite stuff to work with for shading, but as it's kind of expensive, I decided to pick up these. This one's for rust, and this one's for general shading. And they work okay. I might pick up some more later down the road, but anyway, long story short, new paint rack, and we've also got new terrain, which I made this out of some Army Men terrain and popsicle sticks. Printed out a have a nuke sign and Mod Podged it and inked it, and you can see here, it was originally just two little flagpoles, and cut some strips of a yogurt lid to make the little brackets, and just gave it a good ink bath and let it weather itself, and then Mod Podged it for so it'll be a good playing surface. It's simple. It definitely looks good and weathered, and I'm happy with how that looks. It's cheap and easy to work with. And then, now, I've showed these before. These you can get at Dollar Tree. And, so there's 3 of them. I didn't have the third one. Now I do have the third one. So I have the Dollar Tree trio. And they're all now wastelanded. And I kind of like it. Like I said, these two I showed off before in previous videos, so won't go into too much detail. This one's just got an El Cheapo car. Did some blood splatter, a little bit of blood leaking. Got this robot claw, and this still works. It's a little stiff, but anytime you paint something with moving parts, it gets like this. But it's very simple, and again, this is just printed out some paper and Mod Podged it on. Very simple technique, and it works beautifully. And then I've got this one here. This is just showing you don't have to be an absolute master of crafter to have great terrain for a tabletop, because that right there is just an aquarium piece. And I have a friend on Twitter. Their artist handle is KnowTheir3. They make these cute little videos. I mean, not videos. Shoot. These cute little artworks. And they gave me permission to use some of them in my buildings. And I just think that's just cute. I wanted to show that off. And so yeah, they're on Twitter. And if you're a furry like me, you know, check them out. They're really good people. And so yeah, and then you just add a few little bits of pieces of stuff, and you know, you're off to the races. And got this little gap here. A motorcycle could fit through. You know, but a car would have to go around, or hit the rocks. So adds a little bit of variety to your typical racetrack. But yeah, just basically, anytime you see anything for aquarium pieces, they tend to make really good terrain. And they're usually pretty cheap. And they're sturdy too. So, you don't have to worry too much about handling them. And then I made this little one. This is my little bombed out DMV. And again, you can see there 3's artwork. No wolfing out at the Department of Motor Vehicles. That must have been a problem at some point. But imagine this is where like the drivers meet before the race. And there's a few techniques here. This is a technique I picked up from Gaslands TV. Luca, his channel. It's basically making a tarp out of paper and Mod Podge, and if you want to make this, you take some regular white photo paper, or not photo paper, white printer paper, get it wet, wrinkle it up, get it in a position that you like, and then Mod Podge will make it stiff and make it where it'll accept paint, and you just go from there. And again, very simple little terrain piece. It's just a little bit of foam, some aquarium rocks, and an army men thing, and a piece of paper. And so, now you've got something that you can have in the outside of the track itself, or you could have the cars, surrounding this area as, like I said, a driver's meeting kind of spot. And that's what I was planning on doing with it. And then, of course, everybody pretty well knows Gaslands TV and that channel. And that channel, along with JDC, is what got me wanting to do my own stuff, along with Cement Saw's Gaslands content. And so I wanted to do this sort of as a thing to Gaslands TV. And so he made his own Gaslands sponsor at one time. And so I wanted to do my own little news crew. And you can kind of get the hint of what's over there. But so there's a couple of vans and the main production truck. And so these two are actually the same casting, but you see this one here has just made in China, and it's a basic bottom. And this one is a Matchbox, but they're the exact same casting. So I'm wondering if this one's a knockoff, or if Matchbox at one time just did basic. But I mean, it's got the basic Chinese, like China cast little flip things that just run the axle through. But it didn't really matter anyway. So this one here, it's just rusted, dusted, painted up in Gaslands TV colors, and cut out their logo. And so this one here's got rockets. And got the guy up here at the top doing the filming. And, so got that one, and then you got this one here. This one's got the ram, and it's got a combat laser. So it's a little bit more offensive firepower, just in case the Raiders try something. When you're trying to get the shot. And even in the wasteland, the spectators can't be unarmed. So then you got the big production truck. So this one's got the twin miniguns, and it's got spikes on the side, spike tires, and so let's see here. This one's truck number 89. And then you got the big satellite dishes, and it's got the rear mounted turret gun at the back. Let's see here. Yep. So again, I just cut out the logo, and I'm happy with how that turned out. That one really turned out very well for me. I'm really happy with how it looked. But this one here is, of course, the helicopter, the news helicopter. And this one was I found this at Rose's. So you can kind of see here, you got the crew in there. You got the cameraman, and you've got the reporter, you know. So you got the crew in there. It's got a minigun under the chin. And then I decided to give something unique. So it's got the wall of amps and mines. So, yeah, basically, with the wall of amps, I can imagine it when it's up, it's, you know, able to report to the crowd over the roar of the engines and the roar of the helicopter blades and everything, and still be heard. So, yeah, it's, you can see here, got the Gaslands logo there, and the GS 2040 identifications, and I do need to put this on some sort of flying base. It's got a slot back there for one, but I don't know what I could do right offhand. I'm probably going to put this on like a X-Wing large flying base, and then like go from there, but that's something that can wait for later. But I wanted to show that off anyway, because I just thought it's cool. And so then we've got my May car of the month, and so there, we had the beach theme, and so this is Cannon and surfboards. It was 1940s Woody, and I was a little disappointed I didn't get any call out for it, but you can't always get called out and get your car talked about on Gaslands UK, but it's okay. There was a lot of good builds that I was competing against. And plus, there's some things on this one that I ended up not liking myself. Like, this girl's too far out the window. But over that, you know, trying to do salt corrosion on bronze. So you can see here, I've messed with this before on my Egyptian build, but yeah, trying to get that green patenta to look right, it's a challenge. But I like how this car turned out. And the wheels came off of either an M2 or a Johnny Lightning. I really can't remember which. But you got resin engine and a little spike at the front. I was originally going for a beach theme. I was originally going to do 3 little like shark cars and do like the 3-headed shark attack film spoof, but I didn't have any shark cars left, so I was surprised. I thought I had some, but so this was my pivot, and you got the mutant hyena girl throwing a beach ball bomb at somebody, and she was the only figure I had that was in a bikini. So that's Shinzi. Let's see if we can get a good view of her. And the camera does not want to focus very well on her. But let's see here. Yeah, it's not perfect because you can't really see the eyes too well from here. But yeah, basically smacking somebody with a beach ball. And you can see on the inside there's a second beach ball bomb to be used. Yeah, actually there's 3, sorry. I forgot how many I actually put in there. But and then you got, of course, the rest of the crew in there. But I like how it turned out. I'm happy with it. So that's all that matters. And for the car of the month in June, this is what I came up with. Their theme was movie cars. And so this is, of course, the 46 CD Chevrolet Colt Trickle from Days of Thunder. And, you know, I went with the whole, you know, hit the pace car joke, you know, because hit everything else out there, and want you to be perfect. But, so yeah, it's got the front machine gun. It's got front rams, side ram. It's got a rear ram, because that's a slime vehicle with smoke launchers. And left the regular paint job on it because I didn't think there was any need to change the basic paint job. So I put more effort into rust and the interior, which is hard to see. But it's there. There's also there's a Tom Cruise figure driver. He's actually, it was a regular driver 3D printed off, but he was a little bit small. So he's actually in a booster seat to make himself look like he's actually in the right spot. So I was like, maybe we can get this light, maybe we can see it. And nope. Yeah, there's just no way of getting it in there. That's one bad thing about me. I always put drivers and crew and everything else in these builds, and you can't see them unless you actually hold them in real life. But it is what it is. And then I've got these two. This is for Highway Patrol. So these are like a Japanese themed Highway Patrol team. And this one's got the harpoon and the ram. And I got this gold dragon nail art design that I put on there. I think this looks good. This just looks really, really good. And there's this one here. And yeah. Again, nail art, Gundam decals. And so, yeah, it's right-hand drive. Twin miniguns, bringing justice. But I've got another car that's a Japanese car, so this will be a 3-car team for Highway Patrol. And I think they look good. I really do. I'm really happy with how those turned out. And then I've got this one I'm calling the Red Raven, because it's based on the car from The Crow. And it's got twin miniguns and old dropper. And got a guy in here in the mask on, orange hair, and got the gunner there. And I like this car. I like this. I like the Thunderbird with the engine in it. This is the kind of car I would like to drive in real life. I love big 70s cars. And of course, you got the front push bar. And so it didn't have to do too much here. I painted the interior and painted, of course, all the weapons and gear and everything. But so yeah, I really like. This one's a simple car. It turned out really well. And then I've got my little candy trio, which I did a candy trio for Vernie. So this is my Idris candy sponsored team. So there's the Sugar Daddy with the GT40. Yeah, it's got a heavy machine gun and armor plating. And got like the little cow thing at the back. But number 4, I added that. Left the paint job as it is because there's no reason to change it. Just Mod Podged it so the paint would stick. And that was pretty much all I needed to do. And then you got the Junior Mint. And really happy how the rust turned out on this one. This one turned out really well. Big rocket launcher on the top. And the Austin Mini. But, and of course, you got the driver. Those are basically a train figures, which work really well for Gaslands because they're cheap little white plastic stuff. You can get them off of Wish for like $5-6 and like get a pack of like 100. But, and then we got the Tootsie Roller. And I was like, I had this little roller and I was like, it's a Tootsie Roll Hummer. So that RAM is tailor-made for a vehicle with Tootsie Roll as a sponsor. And so it's got rockets as well. And so, yeah. Speed around in style. Sweet chocolate. And this is a vehicle I made for my cat team for Michigan. And this is actually based on my actual cat, Munchkin. And so you got the magnetic jammer and rockets and satellite navigation and rocket thrusters. And then there's another one of my actual cats I had. His name was Booster. So he's in charge of managing the booster engines. And so, yeah, this is one of my more wacky teams where the idea is it's the crew and everybody is cats instead of humans. So you've seen the previous videos with the truck. And like I said, I have got a performance car that's also piloted by a cat. So it's ridiculous, but it's funny. And I did it for the lulz, you know, as I think kids say. And then last but not least, we've got the Coyote Slayer, because it's a Roadrunner. So it's got twin heavy machine guns. Got the Coyote kill mark on the back. And technically it's a Space Wolf decal, but to me it looks like a coyote more than a wolf. So, but again, left the basic paint job on, and then I redid the engine bay. So it's now got that big supercharged engine in it instead of the little rinky-dink engine that was in this car. And so, yeah. Then, of course, I painted the interior and everything. So you can kind of see in there and kind of get a good view of how I do things. But, again, it was pretty simple. And, so that's what I've been up to. And, yeah, I know I haven't been making a lot of videos, but trying to change that. And, we'll get back to it. And, next thing I've got to do is gonna get work on the car of the month for this month, which is themed, I think, criminals and gangsters. And so Warden builds, I think, is the Gaslands UK challenge this time. And so I got to work on that and do a few other little things for the shop. And other than that, you know, having fun. So if you like what I'm doing, you know, always, like I said, feel free to comment, like, share, subscribe, and check out my Etsy store, King of Cats Crafts. And I'm always putting up new cars there. And there should be some new goodies. Sometime at the end of August, I should have some new cars up there. But for right now, that's it. So take care, be safe, and goodbye.